It's yourself. That was when I trusted you, when I could add up 2 and 2. When you promised we'd be together, you, me, forever. Now there's nothing left to lose. And though I understand it's hard sometimes to make up your mind in these trying times, yeah, I just can't accept you leaving me when I'm overseas with the heart so heavy. Think that I deserve the truth for once, not a guilty tone, 'cause you're not alone, yeah. You said you wanna come home, but I know you don't. So this time I won't hear it on the phone. If you got something to say to me, then say it to my face. What it's all about, why you're bailing out. Think you owe me an apology. Just say it to my face. You're sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. Say it to my face. You're sorry. The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Today is Friday, January 21st, 2022. Thank you for joining us at the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. I am excited about everything that's happening here at the show. We're going to be joined at about 8:30 at the 30 mark with Georgia Ford, Rebecca Azor, DJ Exclusive. Dr. Carl Mack is out today, but he has been with us all week and he'll be back with us next week. We're going to open up phone calls later on this morning to get your input, your insight into all the stories that we've covered this week up until this point. And most of all, we just want to thank you. I want to thank you. I want to thank all of the patrons. I want to thank all of the supporters. I want to pause on this Friday before we get ready to go to the weekend and recognize all of the people who have been with us through this journey. 2021 was a hell of a year. That's all I have to say. And that's all I'll say about it. But what I do want to say is that we're here. The Benjamin Dixon Morning Show, on the clock with Georgia Ford, Like It or Not with Rebecca Azor and DJ Exclusive, and This Day in Black History with Dr. Carl Mack. We're here every single morning for you, the people, And we're here for Black people. We're here to be a community space, a space where no matter who you are, you can come and you can be comfortable and you can talk about the news. Here's the thing. We talk about the news every day. We talk about the seriousness of these issues. We talk about the critical nature of the votes that are going on in the Senate and in the Congress. And we want to thank Brother Cliff Albright for joining us yesterday and giving us a succinct breakdown on all of the components of the Voting Rights Act. We do that heavy lift every single day. But the most important thing that we do every single day is spend time with you. And so this is what the morning show is about. The morning show is about taking this time to break the news to you without breaking you, because the news is, well, it's enough to break you. It's enough if you really pay attention to everything that's going on. If you really absorb the nature of the absurdity that Dr. Mack and I were talking about yesterday in the first segment, we were talking about how many people will ignore the truth in order to protect their hermetically sealed political ideology. In other words, we are now at a stage in American decline where people are dying for their politics. I mean, this is really the core of all of the stories that we cover. COVID-19, it is a result of the political nature of this country. We are so far gone as a nation. We are so far removed from reality. We are so far removed from common sense that there is a portion of this country that's willing to die because of the conspiracy theories around COVID-19 versus the hard science that could have protected and saved so many lives. That is the nature of the absurdity that is the American government and the American political system. There's absolutely no question about that. We're going to be talking about those issues a lot more as the year goes on, but we're also going to be shifting and talking about other issues that are pertinent to our community. We're going to be talking about culture, about life, about all the things that you need to know every single morning as you get ready to go to the job. And while you're driving, while you are watching, we intend on making a space that is enjoyable. Because as a person who's covered this, I don't know how many of you have followed me or how long you followed my work. I've been doing this political commentary, political journalism work for, I guess, over a decade. And those who have been following me all that time, you know that we're in this fight for real. You know, the people who volunteer their time, I say volunteer, we pay them, but still, I can't pay them what they're worth. Not until you become a patron, patreon.com/the BPD show. Then I can pay the team what they're worth. But they give the very best of their time. They give the very best of their time, not because we pay them top dollar, but because they believe in the work. And because they know I'm going to pay them top dollar once you guys become patrons. Patreon.com/the BPD show. The point is people commit to this community. It's not just the people who are on air every morning. Shout out to everyone in the chat rooms, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, all of the different platforms. Those of you who are listening to the podcast, you have been going on this journey with me since day one, when we started off with nothing more than 2 listeners on our original podcast. No matter when you tuned in to the Benjamin Dixon Show or the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show, like it or not, or on the clock, you know that we're out here doing this because we mean it. I shout out to Georgia Fort. She's going to be joining us momentarily. Georgia, who is out across the country, particularly in Minnesota, bringing light to all of the injustices that are happening in our criminal justice system. Rebecca Azor yesterday was on the Hill Rising. And I have to just pause and say, I'm so proud of my sister because, you know, we're in a space where Black women are easily dismissed and not taken as seriously as, well, you should, because when a Rebecca Azor speaks, everyone should listen. And then shout out to my DJ Exclusive, who not only brings us music and joy and helps our community stay together, but I mean, the brother knows what he's talking about. And so I'm just excited to have all of these brilliant minds around us every single day. And I'm so excited to have you, the listener, participating in the show with us. I do want to open up the phone lines as soon as I can get to my spreadsheet and get the number to you, because I want to hear back from you. What's going to happen going forward before we get to some of the news stories? Starting in February, we're excited about our partnership with ACT TV. Just take a couple of housekeeping things, a little Freedom Friday prerogative. ACT TV, we have been partnering with them for about 5 or 6 months now. And I am convinced that it is these type of strategic partnerships that is going to help leverage progressive media voices. Any of you who've been in this space, you know, there are a lot of progressive media voices but all of us need amplification because we're in a fight against institutions. We're in a fight against big money. Can we just be real? The reason the level of absurdity is so ridiculous in this country, the reason conspiracy theories seem to get more traction than scientific data, it is because there is so much money in this country that is just being poured into protecting a conservative mindset, even if that means costing you your life by ignoring the vaccine. All of these things are inextricably linked. Our inability to get anything done in Washington, D.C. We've been talking at length about the voting rights attack from the conservative movement and the inability for the United States Senate to protect our fundamental democratic right, which is to vote. The reason that is the case is because there's so much money in politics. And because Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema know that so long as they continue to get money from Republican donors, they don't have to be concerned whatsoever about what Democrats say to them, what their constituents say to them. They don't have to be concerned about what's happening to the environment because they're making enough money now to probably not be concerned about the future. That is the nature, the fundamental nature of our broken system. Money in politics, money controlling everything. And above the money is the greed, the pure, unadulterated, unfettered greed. We have enshrined in this country at the very top of our political hierarchy, our economic hierarchy, and indeed our moral hierarchy. We have enshrined greed. At the top of everything, politicians will ignore the lead pipes in Flint, Michigan, because of greed. Politicians will ignore the working conditions of people making $8 an hour throughout the entirety of the pandemic because of their personal greed and because of the greed of their donors, the corporations. Every aspect. We could take this over to our criminal justice system or our criminal injustice system. You have to understand the reason Black people are facing militarized forces on the streets is because of the money attached to the military industrial complex. We don't have Humvees and tanks running down our streets simply because of an ambitious mayor in a city. No, it's because of a program where cities are now getting equipment from the Pentagon. All rooted, defense contractors getting their money, getting paid at the top of our moral hierarchy, at the top of our political hierarchy, and at the top of our economic hierarchy. Everything about this system is rooted in greed. And somebody tell me, how do we expect to be in any other situation than the one that we are in right now, when every aspect of this system has been designed to not only capitulate to greed, but to literally serve greed? Because, you got to get that money, right? You got to get that bag. At the end of the day, that's where we are. We are in a position where we are suffering as a nation, as a people, as a species, this entire planet. We can extrapolate not just the United States of America, but this is happening globally. The greed, the willingness to watch millions of people die of this pandemic because they needed you to be able to go to work at Hooters. They needed you to be able to go and eat at Applebee's. They needed you to never be afraid enough of dying of this pandemic to stop going out and consuming and buying junk. That, without question, is the fundamental problem in how we got here with nearly 900,000, soon we'll be at 1 million Americans, not to mention the nearly 6 million globally. But in the United States of America, where we have enough technology, where we have fast enough communications, and we have enough experience, we could have saved probably 750,000 lives. There's no hyperbole there. There is no exaggeration. There is no bombastic, there's nothing. Let's just think about this, folks. Today, January 21st, 2022, had the United States of America not been so committed to its greed, at least 750,000 people could be alive. Maybe my numbers are off. Maybe 500,000. Maybe we would have lost 500,000 because it was a novel coronavirus and we did not have a vaccine for the first year and a half of this pandemic. Maybe we would have lost 500,000. But there's nobody on this planet who could tell me that we had to lose 1 million Americans. And the only reason that it makes sense, the only reason it adds up is because at the end of the day, the most powerful people in this country have absolutely no regard for the well-being of the people who buy their junk, of the people who watch their movies, of the people who serve in their districts, of the people who are their constituents. The powerful in this country have already. Here, one last example. The only real piece of legislation that I saw passed on the state level in the state of Georgia as it pertains to COVID-19, the one sign, if you're in Georgia, you already know where I'm getting ready to go. The one sign that I saw everywhere, that you still see everywhere to this day, that gives you a warning about the nature of COVID-19. The one sign that you will see everywhere in the state of Georgia as it pertains to a warning about COVID-19 is the fact that if you come into this place of business, the business owner cannot be sued for you dying of COVID-19. That is the most ubiquitous sign on every business, every hotel, every restaurant in the state of Florida. And I got a feeling it's the same across all of the country, because the only people who have been protected in this pandemic, that's right, the only people who have been properly protected in this pandemic have been the wealthy and their financial interests and the financial interests of our oligarchs and the political leaders who make investments into companies that make profits off of the cure for COVID-19. I'm looking at you, Rand Paul, Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky. Listen, I didn't mean to go on that long of an opening diatribe. Coming up, we have Rebecca Zores joining us. Georgia Fort is joining us. DJ Exclusive is joining us. We're going to be discussing a lot of stories that are happening. One particular story that I want to get to is a fascinating component of the American injustice system. We don't have to go to it now, but I just want to tell you about the number of rappers, particularly Black rappers in this country, who have faced strenuous prosecutions based on their rap lyrics. Now, I actually have two different opinions about this particular story. Jay-Z is involved. There's a couple of other rappers who are involved who are all trying to signal to the United States of America that they should not use the lyrics of rappers to hold them accountable for some alleged crime, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We'll get to that full conversation, but I have to drop that here in context of everything else that's going on in the United States of America. We have more accountability for entertainers, for rappers, than we do the people who marched up the steps of January 6th. I want you to really think about that. We're going to discuss that. And we're also going to discuss what it looks like to be a poor Black person in this country, cold in your building, and your landlord does nothing about the heating and your building burns down. We're going to cover what happened in Brooklyn. We're going to talk about Cardi B, who is now going to be paying for the funeral expenses for all the families that were lost in the Brooklyn fire several weeks ago. But we're also going to talk about the fact that this is not the first time that this has happened. The greed around it all has cost lives, not only here in the United States, but across the pond. We're going to be talking about that. And we're also going to be talking about the legacy of and the legacy and the music and the estate of the legendary Prince. We're going to be talking about that with DJ Exclusive coming up in the next half hour and the rest of the show. So that said, the numbers will be dropped in all of the chat rooms. Go ahead and hit the phone number if you want to join the conversation. This is the range of what we're speaking about today, and I'm so excited to be doing it in this format. You know why? We're going to take a quick break while I reset. We're going to take a quick break and do this when the team comes back, because we got an amazing team that is here every morning. Every morning. Shout out to the people in the background that makes this happen. I am taking a point of personal privilege. I will get to the news. But when I see this come across my timeline and I look at all the beautiful Black faces that we have on here, and we look at how smooth our technology is, and we look at how professional we do the work, yeah, y'all going to have to forgive me on this Friday. It's Freedom Friday. And the way I want to spend my Freedom Friday first is by thanking and saluting everyone at the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show, because we've got work to do. And we can't do it without you. So go to patreon.com/the BPD show, patreon.com/like it or not, become a patron, support what we do. Dwayne, give me a track real quick. When we come back, we're going to jump into the news. The rest of the team is going to join us. There's so much more from the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show coming up right after this.
Sunlight that always stays, dinner by the waterway. It's that sweet life. Raise your cross. Made some dude crack a smile. He asked if I could stay a while. I'm living that high life. Time to catch a flight, but you can make me go. Unlocking all the memories of my new home. Ventilated echoes playing to and fro. To and fro. Back and forth, yeah. Caught some kids dancing in the alleyway. Crazy how the melodies began to play, yeah. Tell me how you feel it when you hear the lyric, yeah. My heart's in Stockholm. Now I never wanna go home. I left my heart in Stockholm. Now I never wanna go home. Shopping the girl, I brought a girl on my Vespa. She said I already told ya, yeah, yeah. I never dated a black guy. I said you're brown yourself. Let me offer help. Come on inside. Where everybody knows your name. Everybody knows your name. Time to catch a flight, but you can make me go. Unlocking all the memories of my new home. Ventilated echoes playing to and fro. To and fro, back and forth, yeah. Caught some kids dancing in the alleyway. Crazy how the melodies began to play, yeah. Tell me how you feel it when you hear the lyric, yeah. My heart's in Stockholm. Now I never wanna go home. I left my heart in Stockholm. Now I never wanna go home. Separate again. Sunlight that always stays in and by the waterway. It's that sweet life, sweet life, sweet life. I never wanna go home, go home. I'm living in Stockholm, Stockholm. I never wanna go home, go home. Living in Stockholm, Stockholm. I never wanna go home, go home. I'm living in
Welcome back. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we are going to be discussing with Georgia Fort Kyle Rittenhouse, who now is saying that he wants to destroy the gun that he used to kill 2 Black Lives Matter protesters that he was subsequently found not guilty of later. I want to play a portion of the clip of him explaining, and we're going to get into it in depth as we get ready to talk with Georgia Fort with On the Clock in a few moments. And also coming up, we're going to be speaking about the rappers who are being, tried even more vigorously. They are being held accountable for their rap lyrics, even though the rap lyrics have nothing to do with the crimes that they have been charged with. I want to you cannot have a conversation about the freedom of Kyle Rittenhouse and the celebrity of Kyle Rittenhouse and the fact that he's off with murder. He got away with murder. And now we're talking about rappers who simply are being prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law because of their lyrics. Now, I have 2 different opinions on that issue, but I cannot not recognize the glaring hypocrisy. Before we get to Kyle Rittenhouse, I want to pause. And are we all ready, David?
Yeah.
Okay, here's a clip. Kyle Rittenhouse describing why he wants to destroy the gun that he used to kill 2 Black Lives Matter protesters.
For Kyle Rittenhouse.
Y'all don't say nothing doing this, but goddamn, the pump is...
That's my rifle.
Yeah, that is yours, right.
That we're having destroyed right now. We don't want anything to do with that.
Oh, wow.
Kyle Rittenhouse, in the wake of his multiple...
I heard my brother from another mother, DJ Exclusive, in the background. You're absolutely right, James. Just the introduction alone of Kyle Rittenhouse is absolutely disgusting. It really shows this morning, brother.
Good morning, sir. I was about to step away and grab coffee, and when that came on, I'm just like, WTF? Bro, just the pomp and circumstance behind that was just absolutely disgusting, how they're just playing this man to be some kind of freaking superhero. No, you're nobody's superhero, dude. Let's never forget.
That's right. That's absolutely right, man. I don't have to hold you, man. Go get your coffee. I already got my coffee. I just wanted to, I heard you back there saying exactly what I was feeling. We're going to be talking about that extensively coming up in about 10 minutes. That said, David, is your microphone on?
I'm here.
David, ask your version of Google Assistant, because your Google Assistant has an accent that isn't the same one as mine. What happened today in Black History, David?
Today in Black History.
Opening history.
No. Of course it malfunctions.
See what happens when we try to do this without Brother Carl Mack?
Hold on.
This is 2 for 2, folks. This is something we're not going to do again.
January 21st, 1773, Phyllis Wheatley, the first Black American to write and publish a book, was granted her freedom. Having been taught to read and write by the Wheatley family, Phyllis was reading Greek and Latin by age 12. By age 20, she had written a collection of poems for publishing. When the colonists refused to publish her collection of poems entitled Poems of Various Subjects, Religious and Moral, she published it in London, where it achieved great success. Adapted from Black Heritage Day 4 calendar by author, lecturer, and civil rights activist Dr. Carl Mack.
Dr. Carl Mack, that is Phyllis Wheatley, and she, the first African-American woman, author, period, to be published a book of poems. One of the things that I love about Black history is, about history in general, to be quite honest with you, is the cyclical nature of it. And to see and to be able to look back in past and see people who are doing things that we aspire to, doing things that we can look up to and be role models. They can be the history, the past. It can be our role models, even if we don't have what we need right around us. I'm reminded of one thing that Malcolm X said. He said, it's incumbent upon young people to find your place in history. Find your place in history. Find the people who were doing the things that you now want to do. Find the people who had the courage to stand up in the face of absurdity, of oppression at levels that we can't even imagine. And so as we celebrate this sister, Phyllis Wheatley, we want to commemorate the accomplishments, but also use it as a way to inspire every single one of us. If there is something that you're trying to do, the way you can find the proper inspiration is by looking in the past and seeing all the brilliant Black people who've already tread the path before us. So that's our moment in Black history on this Friday. David, thank you for that. What accent was that, by the way? That sounded like a British.
It's a British accent. You can change Google's accent. And I was just like, you know what? Let me change it up.
My wife goes with the New Zealand accent. I don't know why. Whenever we get directions from Siri, she always goes with the New Zealand accent, and it strikes me as the New Zealanders. I'm about to get in trouble. Because they sound like the South. They sound like the Southerners version of London. Like you take somebody from the UK, they have this British posh accent. You get somebody from the South, it sounds a little bit more like they're from Alabama or Mississippi, like I am. So just solidarity with New Zealanders and their accent struggle. Anyway, I'm gonna get some emails about that. DJ Exclusive. Let me bring you on the screen, man. I know you. I don't even know if you got your coffee yet, but we're gonna kill a couple of seconds here. We only got about 30 seconds before we go to break. When we come back, we're gonna be joined by the rest of the team. I cannot stress enough to you how brilliant these people are. I don't even have to be here. I know it's called the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show, but my favorite thing about this is that the best part of the show are the people who surround me. DJ Exclusive, take us to a break. On the Clock is coming up right after this.
Being always trying to go somewhere. Good morning again, everybody. Good morning to you all. And welcome again to the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. I am your DJ, James Bubba Williams. DJ Exclusive, y'all in the building. Good morning, everybody. Go ahead, grab your coffee, your tea, whatever it is you need to get your morning started. You will need it this morning. The Furious 5 is in the building. Hey, Furious 5, I like that. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in. We got more coming up next. On the Clock with George Ford is coming soon.
She don't love money. She break hearts real fast like Carmen. Wanna swim down to the deep end. Wanna know all my secrets, honestly. Can you keep it real? Cause honestly, I can tell that you're real fond of me. Baby, don't be shy. I can see it in your eyes. I've been running around. Too bad, I've been sticking out your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I know you stand it how you take it.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I see y'all in the chat room this morning. Y'all come on in, get situated, get settled. Good morning, Mama and Daddy. I see y'all. Hey, Miss Sophia. Marquez, what's going on, brother? Unprovoked violence, what's going on? India Brown, good morning. Jesse Camaro, One Source Productions, what's going on? Oh, man, where my donuts at? According to SLP, good morning. Jasmine Tassel, what's going on, Jazz? Roller Dragon, what's going on, brother? Susan Bradley, good morning to you. Brenda Johnson, Latino. Jacob, good morning. Brother Chuck Diesel. Afraid Not, good morning. FNL Flaw Dragon, what's going on? Queen Abby, Tiger Katsune Tiger, that is right. Patron party is going down tonight. Y'all don't want to miss it, man. Make sure y'all have y'all face in the place. And if you are not a member of the Patreon, go ahead and join now so you can get access to Patron party tonight, man. Patreon.com/LikeItOrNot, Patreon.com/The BPD Show. Y'all go ahead and get y'all sales in. Good morning, everybody. Track the Tasha, Juanita, Brenda Johnson, Starshine Song Dragon. Good morning. Six Dragon Daddy, good morning. And I can't wait till tonight, boy. We have a good time tonight. Y'all make sure y'all catch y'all sale that, man. Good morning, everybody. Yes, sir, Benjamin Dixon. There is a Patreon party tonight. Hey, man, shout out to Jam Tomb as well. Jam Tomb says, y'all have been kicking ass at Benjamin Dixon. Y'all have elevated your audience, those you raid and yourselves, and it's looked to be smooth as butter. Well done. Shout out Jam Tomb. Jam Tune is the mama over there on Twitch. I call her the mama. Love you, Jam Tune.
If you want love, look somewhere else. Heal for nothing. Just give it up.
Ooh.
I'm not your girl, cause I only love
Davis
me.
sent me a message in Slack saying we got Patreon updates. And my God, today.
You and I could have fun together when I feel
Let's go ahead and get these read, because when I tell y'all all the same, I appreciate
to
it.
care for yourself.
We have some new Patreon members this morning. Good morning, Cat Givens. Big Peace. What's going on? B-Day, what's going on? Good morning to you. All right, our new patrons for today. We have Janitor F, not Jennifer F, but Janitor F. Devo E, good morning. Chicken Fried Dragon, of course, doubled their pledge yesterday. This was on Twitch and Patreon. Okay, shout out to you. And I think that should be Jennifer as well, too, David. Also, we have Nancy V, who doubled their pledge. Shout out Nancy V. Baba R. We appreciate you, Baba R. And Devo E actually joined both Patreons. God damn, that's what I'm talking about. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to you, Devo E. All right, our new Twitch subscribers, we have African Beard. All right, African Beard. Rachel Letney resubscribed, and they've been subscribed for 7 months. Superfly Trans Guy. Ooh, shit, I love that name. Superfly Trans Guy resubscribed and been subscribed for 3 months. Welcome. Of course, from yesterday, we had Aria who resubscribed. We have Agnostic Sister who resubscribed and gifted a subscription to Neon Death 07 and Tiger Cat Silly who resubscribed with Palm and commented, "We in here for the long run," and been subscribed for 10 months, man. Shout out to everybody that's joined on Twitch, Patreon, everything, man. Once again, if you have not already, patreon.com/Cycling, not patreon.com/the BPD show. Y'all come on, man. Definitely want to get in there. Make sure you're at the patron party tonight. It goes down 9 p.m. It'll be a good time. Y'all make sure y'all bring y'all drinks, y'all smokes, everything, whatever you need. Let's get it done.
Don't rely on somebody else. Oh, so don't get me wrong. No, don't get me wrong. No, don't get me wrong. I'm just riding alone. Just walk away, 'cause I got no intentions of hanging out with you tonight. Don't look my way. If you wanna bother,
Good morning, Mama and Daddy. Alicia, good morning.
if you want love, just give it up. You got the wrong girl. You got the wrong.
Right.
You got the wrong. You got the wrong girl. You got the wrong. You got the wrong. You got the wrong.
Al Booker, good morning to you. Alicia, that's right. Party tonight. Patron party tonight. It's going down. First patron party in New Year. I think we're going to do one next week as well, too. Make sure that we get both our patron parties in for the month. Okay? Yep, Mama, I'm good. Mama, good seeing you as well as you. XOXO Bob, good morning. Happy Friday to you as well. Happy Friday, everyone.
No, it just can't hurt me. No.
Simone Lewis, good morning.
No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No. I know it's hard to be polite, and it's easy being petty. My mama used to tell me, gotta use you when you ready. Man, it's crazy how my brother said it could have been my set. It's either prison or a grave, that's what everybody tell me. Man, life ain't a beach, it's a female dog. I'm staying 10 toes down, though I still might fall. Oh yeah, now I done came through, knocking bitches off your walls. Loving people who persecute you, it's still a tough life. On my path and the lamp under my feet. I know my faith strong, but my flesh still kinda weak. When that victory be looking like the verge of defeat.
Queen Abby, good morning to you.
Tell me turn my other cheek and say sticks and stones may break my
Stones,
but you words can't hurt me.
Sorry.
No, you just can't.
Yeah, Starshine, this is Sticks and Stones by Norman Son.
More than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me. No. No, you just can't.
Barbara Ebron, good morning from California. All right, Cali, West Side is in the building. William Moore, good morning to you. Shout out to everybody everybody across the pond as well, too. Y'all be tuning in and rocking with us every morning. We appreciate y'all so much.
See, it's hard to be polite. It's easy being petty. Mama used to tell me, gotta use you when you're ready. Cause I ain't working on my own time and ain't got no diamonds on.
All right, y'all. We will be back soon with more music, but we gotta get to this show, man. Got a great show for y'all this morning, so you don't want to miss it. And it's time for us to get to it. So welcome back to the screen, my brother from another mother, Benjamin Dixon. Y'all on the clock starts now.
My face strong, but my flesh still kind of weak.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. January 21st, 2022. Thanks so much for joining us. It is Freedom Friday around here, but whenever Georgia Ford is here, we are on the clock.
Good morning, and happy Friday. You know, we now at this point, Ben, are well into 2022. And I think people were thinking that 2022 was going to be a new year, but something happened in 2020 where it feels like 2021 was just a continuation of 2020. And now 2022 is starting to feel like a continuation of 2021.
Oh my God! Today, yes, it is.
You just
what did it say? 2022
and broke our hearts early in the morning. Just came in and just ripped our hearts out of us. Georgia, how you doing this morning?
It's like the sequel, you know.
I don't know. Wait, Georgia, you know I
damn it, Georgia.
I'm about to get real religious real quick. I'm gonna have to rebuke you in the name of Jesus because I need 2022. I honestly need 2022 to be a lot better than 2021, me personally. But you're right. The first, we're not even, it's 20 days in, 22 days, 21 days in. And some of the same foolishness is actually getting worse than getting better since 2021. So I reluctantly feel what you're saying this morning. Sis, how you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. It's Friday. Ceriso is, he traveled out of town. So I am again stuck with the girls. Luckily, they're still sleeping right now, but all is well in the Ford household.
That's what's going on. Yeah. It's good to know. It's good to know Ceriso is doing well and the family's doing. James, thank you for what you're doing on the music and being here with us this morning. It's Friday. Matter of fact, if legend holds true, if the myth of Rebecca Azor is accurate, she too will be joining us momentarily. I hear that she's going to be joining us early today, go ahead, Jay.
If I play the right song, maybe it'll summon Rebecca.
You better get it together.
I think I got a Haitian song I can play. It might summon her to come.
Okay. Now, Georgia, here's the thing. Like the way I structure the way I present myself is I allow the you and Rebecca, y'all set the parameters of how I behave. When we do On the Clock, we normally cover some serious news, but if you leave it up to me and James, we're going to be, especially because it's Friday. It's just that. And we got a patron party tonight. I want to remind everybody, patreon.com. Whether you are a supporter of Georgia Fort, matter of fact, Georgia, we don't shout out your website enough on here, georgiafort.com. Go there and become a supporter of Georgia Fort. Like it or not, the Benjamin Dixon Show. We got the patron party going on tonight. That said, Georgia, I have been talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. And I know you, obviously, with your coverage, you have been covering that story since the beginning, since the inception. Recently, yesterday, he announced that he wants to have the gun that he used to kill 2 Black Lives Matter protesters. He wants to have that gun destroyed. Now, I want to play the full segment. It's a segment from our friend over at the Damage Report, John Iadarola, with the TYT network, as he breaks down this newfound, whatever this is that Kyle Rittenhouse is doing, because I'm sorry, I have a hard time believing that he wants to destroy the gun out of compassion and empathy and those good things. to me, it seems like he might be setting himself up for a book deal. We'll get to that in a minute. Here's a clip of Kyle Rittenhouse discussing why he wants to get rid of the gun and the way this country celebrates a two-time murderer.
For Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle.
This is your gun, right?
That's my rifle.
Yeah, that is yours, right?
That we're having destroyed right now. We don't want anything to do with that.
Oh, wow.
Kyle Rittenhouse, in the wake of his multiple killings, his public image, he wanted to assure you that your beliefs that you might have immediately had about him politically are not true. This doesn't really represent who he is. You think that he's some sort of white supremacist or that this was an ideological thing. That's not true at all. Of course, he then went and did a documentary with Tucker Carlson, and he's appeared on every like caveman right-winger show and podcast and all that in the country. So what's next for him? Apparently, if you thought he might want to be moving on from this whole thing and not having it define his existence, maybe not. He's apparently considering writing a book about his unorthodox journey into adulthood. And by that, he means the time he decided to go and shoot people. His spokesperson, which he has, says that there are preliminary internal discussions about him writing a book. Read that as another person writing a book and him signing off on it. He's not literally going to write one single word about himself. They said it will most likely be a story of a young man's very unorthodox journey into adulthood, what it took to make it, and the lessons he learned along the way. What do you mean what he took to make it? He took a gun he shouldn't have had to a protest and shot people. He learned some lessons about how to make money off of killing people. He definitely learned that.
The lessons he's learned is how to be a good right winger. And people are like, hey, you got to do some way to make sure you capitalize off of this attention. So since you're catering to old conservatives, you have to write a book. What is it about what Kyle Rittenhouse would write or someone else would write in his name would make you think, hey, this guy has lots to say that I'd like to hear?
Now, that second voice was JR from the TYT network and the Damage Report. Everything that they said, I agree. I think it is rooted in the book. But Georgia, to me, what stands out is the fact that after this man killed those two Black Lives Matter protesters who were white, but they were protesting on behalf of Black life, after he killed them, he started getting enough donations to be able to hire professional publicists, to be able to hire people who could do press releases, to not only that, to get the attorneys that he needed to get away with murder. So it just reminds me of, if you kill people in this country, and you don't even have to kill Black people anymore, you just got to kill people who agree with Black people, you still come out like a hero and get millions of dollars.
Yeah. And it's deeply disturbing that here we are in 2022 and you have Rittenhouse who can basically take a page out of the book of the killers of Emmett Till, and it still works in this nation. I've been following the series Women of the Movement on ABC over the last few weeks and just learning more about the trial surrounding those who were charged with Emmett's death. And we know today that nobody was ever charged for his kidnapping or his murder. And the gaslighting and everything that happened to his mother, who stood up and said by any means necessary, she was going to fight for justice for her baby boy. And here with Rittenhouse, I mean, he literally has done the same exact thing that those men did decades ago, and it still works in this country. And so at what point, and it's not because Black people have, especially in the last 2 years, stood up and said that systematically there are things within the systems around us that are continuing to oppress us, that are continuing to produce inequities. At what point is white America going to wake up and say that we want to foster a different type of society? I mean, it made me sick to see that two-time killer on stage being celebrated like he's a superstar. but that is the society in which we live in. We have fostered spaces where people with these radical ideologies that feel like violence against Black people or violence against people who agree with Black people is okay. We're fostering these environments. And so what do you think is going to come from it? And it's a direct response to Trump having been in office, I think.
I absolutely agree. DJ Exclusive, I don't know if you don't see it on my side, but I have to confess the legends are true. Rebecca Zor is here to join us in this conversation. That might be the earliest I've ever seen her, but this is an important conversation. I'm such an asshole. Y'all forgive me. I want to bring Rebecca into the conversation. It is a serious conversation. DJ Exclusive, one of the first things you said when you saw that clip, before it even got 30 seconds into the clip, you immediately said how disgusting it was. But what blows me away is we can clearly see that the way they celebrate Kyle Rittenhouse in this country is absolutely disgusting. But to them, it's like they feel like they're on the right side of history, bro.
Like I said, it's absolutely disgusting. But I mean, unfortunately, it makes sense. This is the country that we live in, that they celebrate the killers of those that support Black people and black movements. So the way they celebrated that man and cheering his name on like he's some national treasure when he's a national POS. And if you don't know what that means, then I'm sorry. I can't tell you what it means. So, but figure it out.
No, on this show.
Not a piece of sugar.
Pounds of sugar.
Not a piece of sugar.
Rebecca Azor is with us early in the morning, sis. I know we're going to bring you in a moment, Rebecca, as soon as we get you on the screen, but we hear your voice. How you doing this morning, sis?
I'm doing good. Look, I ain't know. Okay. Hey, guys. Glad to be on the clock today.
Yes. It is so good to see you.
Good to see you.
She's like, I'm awake. I'm waking up.
She says, trust me.
Everything was wrong over here. I'm looking at my mic. I'm like, you guys can hear me? Because I didn't know what was happening.
We heard everything, sis. We heard it all. Everything. But thankfully we were talking.
Yeah.
But listen, Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us early. It is Freedom Friday. We're blowing away the borders. No borders across the shows this morning. We're talking obviously about Kyle Rittenhouse. The other part of this is how professional sounding his PR team is. I don't know. Do we have that B-roll or the actual language, David, from his publicist? Because now the language coming out of team, he's got a whole team. Say that again, David.
This one didn't have that B-roll.
Okay, so Kyle Rittenhouse has a whole team now. His family has spokespeople now, right? And I'm not wealth or whatever. That's fine. If you're rich, whatever, we'll talk about that. But I am disgusted with the fact that his wealth, Rebecca, is rooted in the fact that he killed people supporting Black lives. Now, that's why he has publicists. That's why he has attorneys. He's wealthy now because of how he treated people supporting Black lives.
Yeah, he murdered them, and he was supported by white evangelicals who, like, upon other people, Karens, all of them, like all these white groups who wanted to protect this person because this person was saying that, the country is browning. The Black people are out of control. And we need to, get them in order. And this young fella did a noble thing in the name of America and went out and killed two white people, but went out and killed two allies. And for them, he was doing the work. He was doing the work of God. He deserved, repentance. He deserved forgiveness. And it was their job to get him that. Now, there are so many Black folks in jail right now for minor things that can't even see a judge, can't get any assistance, can't get anything. This man, Kyle Rittenhouse, was in jail for like 2.5 seconds, got out, became a celebrity, is writing a book. Every time he steps out, he's being praised. It's not shocking to see because I've seen this in other areas with other people, like people could work with Donald Trump, that 1 second, and then go write a book and be so famous. This is the effect that things are happening now. But I don't know if I'm pissed to see it. Or if I'm pissed that I already expected that this would happen. It shouldn't be normal. This should not be every day. I don't like it. And look how he aged. Remember when they were trying to make him meek and humble and then young and still got milk on the tongue. Remember that? That was just like a few weeks ago.
That's right.
And now here he is on the stage and he's giving us grown ass man 5 kids, trust fund kid. Like this is
trust fund,
trust fund kid. Oh my gosh.
That's right. Sister Ford, sound like you were about to jump in there.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to find the words for it because it's deeply disturbing and sickening. That we've arrived at a place as a society where someone who kills someone is celebrated. Right. I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, where is the moral values that we used to uphold in this country? And maybe we never fully did, right? But we strived for that. And I feel like there was a period of time in this country where we were fighting for that. And it feels like our morale as a society has continued to erode and diminish to the point where someone kills someone and now they're a celebrity for that.
I don't want to belabor this point, but this is, we got to really, let's contextualize this. Kyle Rittenhouse is perhaps the most famous murderer in the most powerful empire in the history of the planet. Everybody understands that here to this point, the United States of America got more guns, more territory. They are the global empire. Kyle Rittenhouse is now the face that they promote as the hero of this American empire. That blows me away to see that white supremacy is so committed to itself that they would take this boy, this man, and take the fact that he's a murderer. It really just, I mean, the only thing I can compare it to be honest with you, I hate having to use religious allusions all the time, but it reminds me of the people who chose Barabbas over Jesus. They chose a murderer over Jesus in the Bible. And I'm like, y'all evangelical Christians, how can you even celebrate Christmas this year when y'all have literally picked Barabbas over the truth? You picked Barabbas over justice. And now they're parading this clown all over the country. And now he's getting ready to write a book. And so that he doesn't get the book deal taken away from him, he wants to be the moral, upstanding guy now because he's going to destroy the gun that he used to kill 2 people.
Ugh, I can't even stand to see his
just face. Disgusting, bro. Right. I'm sitting over here in this just absolute disgust looking at these pictures. It's just disgusting.
Because those people are gone. And
imagine how the families feel too.
And imagine how those families feel, but they, and these people are gone. Also, we know Kyle's name way more than we've, the victims. I couldn't tell you their names right now, the victims, to be honest. Right. Unless I'm reading it from a script or a news article. And also, it's just very reminiscent of cops who kill Black people or cops who kill people who are allies or, it's just that whole thing. He was a cop in training, so much so that the police officers who were here to serve and protect, right? In that moment, who were supposed to be serving and protecting everybody, but we know that's not what they're there for at the protest. But they were there to serve and protect people, were dapping him up, saying he's doing the right thing. So he felt empowered in that moment by the very people that are supposed to serve and protect us no matter what.
That's right. Well, they were throwing them bottles of water. Mm-hmm. They literally we had that footage. You know what? This is how the algorithm works. I had footage of the police officers actually throwing him water, and somebody on YouTube went through and took all those down with a copyright violation. Now that video might still be out there, but you got to search a lot deeper to find it. I say that to say there's plenty of evidence to show exactly what you're talking about, Rebecca. The fact that he was pals with the cops that night, the fact that they gave him cover, they gave him water, they gave him that validation that he needed to go out there and to do what he did. And so, you know what? One of y'all said it. I don't know whether we should be hurt or upset because watching it unfold in real time, you kind of knew this was going to happen. You kind of knew that they were going to get behind him so much that he was going to be able to be found innocent in this injustice system of ours. So,
well, and then I think, the other question is what precedent has this set in the future if there are groups that decide to go out and exercise their First Amendment right. They're protesting, they're standing up for Black lives, and another Rittenhouse decides to come along and in his case, I mean, when you really look at the events that unfolded, he was there as an agitator. So you show up to a protest as an agitator with a gun. What precedent has this set for the future? And even here in Minneapolis, which was considered the epicenter of a global movement for police accountability, even here, we're seeing legislation that is making it very difficult for organizers to kind of protest on the fly. So if let's say someone was killed by the police today, you would not be able to protest today. You could get a misdemeanor offense if you protested today because the new requirement is that you pull a permit 7 days in advance. So the earliest you could protest after somebody would be killed by the police is 7 days. And if you don't comply with that, you will be charged with a misdemeanor. And so with the legislation combined with the fact that we've seen people like Rittenhouse go to protests, shoot people, kill people, and get off. We also saw that happen to a man named Kelvin Horton. Kelvin Horton was a Black man, a father of 5, I believe, in Minneapolis protesting for George Floyd. A business owner shot and killed him and was never charged with anything.
Wow.
What precedent have we set here? Where are the protections for people exercising their First Amendment constitutional right?
Right. Georgia, at the I'm not going to give all the details, but you and I and our team, we're working on a story of something similar that happened in the state of Georgia, where now a young Black man was killed, not by police, but by one of his neighbors. And that neighbor was not arrested. There was no investigation. That neighbor is still free to this day, despite there being witnesses who said it was not self-defense. So the precedent that this has set is one where people now, and then, my God, there was a video, I don't think we covered it on the show, but right after Kyle Rittenhouse got off, there was 2 men who were fighting over stepchildren, and the father killed, or rather the boyfriend killed the father, and he wasn't arrested. Right.
Yeah,
and we saw the video.
Yeah,
we covered that on the show. Man, this is going to make a lot of people, Georgia, to your point, and I know we got to go to a break, but it's going to make a lot of people feel like they too can get away with murder.
And it actually happened another time as well, too. I'm not sure if we covered it again. An off-duty sheriff not only shot and killed a Black man, but hit him with his car. And when he got up, shot him through his windshield. So it's continuously happening now where these people are thinking that, we can claim self-defense or I was in fear of my life. You had a freaking pickup truck that you hit this man with, that you use your car as a weapon and still shot him through the windshield.
Well, and this is why we have music. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we want to talk about the other side of this story. While Kyle Rittenhouse is a celebrity, there are celebrity rappers who are now being faced with more accountability as a result of their lyrics than Kyle Rittenhouse as a result of killing 2 people and then being acquitted. We'll talk about that when we come back with Like It or Not and Cardi B. A whole lot coming up next on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show.
Make sure y'all stay tuned. We have more coming up next on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show here. I think this song is very fitting for us to light this thing up. Good morning again, everybody. Y'all make sure you stay tuned. Go ahead, grab your coffee and tea on your little short break while we can. And let's get everything started. So we'll be back momentarily. Benjamin Dixon Morning Show, Like It or Not, is coming up next. Laura Estrada, good morning to you.
I'm in line with the stars, I'm in sync with the earth. 10 toes deep, flower child from the turf. I never switch
New Jersey, this is Earth Light It Up by Xavier Roussan.
I've been on the vibe, kind of hard to describe.
Jonathan, good morning to you. I know Jonathan is going to be at the Patriot Party tonight. Make sure that you are also at the Patriot Party tonight. You don't want to miss it, y'all. Elizabeth Monson, good morning. New Jersey, my pleasure. Infinite Content, good morning to you.
We all want the same. We all want a meal in the safe. I want to live like I'm trying to reach enlightenment. Trail spill from my lips, feel big from the bip. Take a sip till I pass out. Try and get grip, but it don't make sense. Cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase.
Absolutely right, Unprovoked about it.
At the table, beast with the slap, pin myself on the map. I'm long with the wind, but we knowing that it's cap. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, couldn't see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. Burn it down, sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
From the glass in the mirror, yeah. Do it at me, old man, trying to pass in the fear.
Plug your headphones up to your microphone, man.
When they hear eyes blurry, but I couldn't see that. And he cleared down.
Keegan, good morning to you, Keegan.
Like I'm on one. Settle in,
Teresa, good morning.
I'm a slave for the cash, got snakes in the grass, no brakes on the ad, but it's all fun. We done seen it all, heard it all.
Happy birthday, Bluebird on my shoulder. Happy birthday to you.
All 12 missed calls and I still made a curtain call. He done light it up, lighten up. Hear him talking, they ain't right enough, tighten up. Everything that I came before I left me, I'm bang, said such bang. List going past.
I like you.
Came for the breakfast, put me in your prayers.
That's I get you.
You get me. My soul got the same on the necklace.
Tyler Hackner, what's going on, brother? Happy birthday again, Bluebird on my shoulder. We hope your birthday is wonderful, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all wish Bluebird on my shoulder a happy birthday. You are in the right place celebrating this morning. Shelby Hall, good morning to you. Mara Sharice, good morning, sister. The same headphones that you got already from, never mind. That's not none of my business. I'm not even talking to you right now. Okay.
I'm a little bit naughty.
Dorian Vick, good morning. Kat Givens, good morning to you. And thank you for your super chat as well, Kat.
Come a little bit closer. Yeah. Come a little bit closer. Yeah. You're a little bit crazy. It's been days, but you never change. What's love got to do with it? He comes around, better knock that stuff down. Come a little bit closer. Yeah.
Roller Dragon, I'm not gonna stop you. If you want to sit up, sit them on. I don't even know what that means, but sit them on.
Ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right. Put your finger right in his face and tell that man bye-bye. I'm too fly. I'm too fly. Bye-bye. 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 You're a little bit selfish. You get mad every time you lose. You can't take me with you. I'm scared you're gonna blow your fuse. Come a little bit closer. Yeah, I can really start over. Yeah.
Rebecca, that's crazy. My best friend's son does the same thing, Rebecca.
You're just wasting my time because you're scared and lonely. Finally got some closure. Yeah, I can finally start over. Yeah.
Magdalene Moon, good morning to you. Shout out everybody on Twitch right now. Susan Bradley, good morning.
I'm too fly. I'm too fly. Bye bye.
Oh, Roller Dragon. Hell yes.
Bye bye. Here's to the memories. supposed to be. Your friend said that you left me. I'm glad that's what you believe.
Wait on Daddy Duty.
All my ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right. Put your finger right in his face and tell that man bye-bye. I'm too fly.
Amber Layla, good morning to you.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.
All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know when y'all hear the song. Y'all know what that means. Latavia, good morning. Mark S., I appreciate you. It's time for Like It or Not, y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all. Shout out Road Runner. Damn, Road Runner. We ain't seen you in like 1,000 years. Happy New Year, Road Runner. It's coming through. You know she. Aria, good morning. Good morning to you, little Aria. For you, oh Benjamin, that's my dog. This is his show. Rebecca Ben, make sure y'all check Slack. That's adorable. I am your DJ. DJ exclusive. Y'all know who I am. I stay dropping them jams. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, like it or not, it's starting now. Like it or not, to go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it.
It is Friday.
And Rebecca was ready to jump the gun. She was ready to jump the gun, child. I seen it. She was ready to jump the gun. She was ready. She didn't think I saw it. I saw it. She was ready to get in there, girl. Good morning, good morning, good morning. First and then Ben and then Rebecca. It's been a long time.
Elect you without
a dope beat to step two. I'm showing them my age. It's Friday, January 21st, 2022. Thank you for joining us. Georgia Ford had to step away because on top of everything of being a journalist and an entrepreneur, she's a mom. And so she's doing that. We'll see you on Tuesday, Georgia. Shout out to you. DJ Exclusive, Rebecca Zor. Dr. Mack is out today. He had nope, I'm gonna stop my sentence right there. He's out today. And that means it's just the three of us, the original Three Musketeers. Like it or not. Was that?
He had to go polish his abs.
We not. I'm moving on.
He's getting the emoji framed.
Dr. Mack is not here today.
You about to call him Daddy Mac?
Georgia's not here as well. But I was happy to be on that show this morning on the clock. I never got an opportunity to be there. And I actually like the way the blue sits against my skin. To be honest.
Yeah. It was nice.
It was a nice little cool moment. You know, before we get to the hot moment, we had like a nice cool, and I liked it. It was nice over there. So shouts out to On the Clock. Right. You know, and I think my ovaries are doing something like boom, boom, boom. Do you want a kid? Boom, boom, boom. And,
I never see. I never. Folks, this is the realest show. This is the realest ass show in the history of shows because nothing is scripted. I really have no idea when Rebecca is going to come around the corner and say something like my ovaries were kicking and doing somersaults last night.
But you know what, Rebecca? I feel you because my ovaries be doing the same thing like, oh, I want a baby so bad.
Yeah,
but then like
they're also beating me up for not being pregnant too. So that means, but when I see like babies and stuff, I do, I get so excited. Your baby is beautiful.
Right.
And look, it's an exclusive picture, so y'all can't see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Dwayne has a beautiful, beautiful baby.
Dwayne is our technical director. She might make an appearance.
I would love
Make sure you show them with all, you know me, because I'm like a kid too. I like to go into studios and just sit and look at the lights flashing and stuff. So make sure you put up and let people see all the flashing lights because I want to see it. That's it.
She must look like her mama.
Don't play me. I can still take
Dwayne is our technical director. He's the one in the back that keeps everything moving and transitioning so smoothly, and he's got a new addition to the family. And he sent us a picture of this precious baby in our private Slack. It's up to you, Dwayne, whether you want to show that precious sweetheart publicly.
How old is she now?
What's today? Friday? Oh, she's 12 weeks today.
12 weeks today. 3 months today.
Wow. You could have said 3 months.
No,
there you go.
It's not technically
So now
3
you're in
months.
the week?
It's not
So
technically.
it's not technically 3. When is it technically 3 months?
The 29th.
I guess 13. Yeah, somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So,
I got you.
And so that's why everybody say weeks like that, because I'll be one of them like, yeah, she's 38, 96 weeks.
Now, when you're moving past 12 months,
Yeah,
she's 225 weeks.
12 months. That baby
She's 20 years old, but we're gonna do it in weeks.
She's 1,028 weeks. Damn, she grown, ain't she?
She got a car.
6,000 weeks now.
6,000 weeks.
And I'm excited about that.
Hey, listen, we laughing, but black mamas really be doing. Oh yes, that's my baby. She's 6,722.
Black mamas do that? Hell no. It be the whites. To be honest,
it be the black mamas. What you talking about? Oh, especially in Florida.
Like my baby
Yes,
is 70,000 weeks.
Really, Rebecca?
Never have
babies be.
But remember, we grew up black. There was some unison in there, but I'm Haitian American, so it probably was different. They be calling their kids that's about 3 weeks, 3 years old. That's
okay. It's because y'all, because baby be coming out with full beards and stuff. You know,
my nephew came out with a whole full beard. My mama was like, he was stressed in the belly. He was stressed in the belly. That's why he came out with a full. He was stressed in the belly. That lady was stressed in the mouth.
Wait. So listen. Since we here now. We were talking about these new babies though, like these pandemic babies who were born either during the pandemic or grew up. Like my little boy just turned 4 years old, and I promise you, this is a different breed of baby. You got to be professionally trained to raise these little terrorists. Because I promise. I mean, don't be wrong. I love my son. I love my son, but when he decides to turn, and then the thing is, it's like he knows his rights already. He be turning up sometimes about stuff that he's right about. And I just have to sit there and listen to a 4-year-old make a good point. Y'all better be prepared to have kids in this pandemic and afterwards.
That's crazy. One of my best friends has 3 sons, and I was on the phone with him yesterday when he took 2 of them riding to the store. And when I tell you, the oldest one I think is maybe 3 or 4. When I tell you, he sound like he looks like he about 6 or 7 because he's already that tall. And then it's like hearing him talk, it's like that little man been here before, bro. Right. It be making good sense.
Good sense. And I be wanting to tell them to be quiet. Go, you know your place. But they be making so much good sense. I should be deplatformed if I didn't sit there and listen to them read me for filth when I did something wrong. Because they don't let me get away with nothing.
Shout out to my nephews and my godchildren, my 2 godsons, Elias and Elijah. And EJ. I was just telling you guys during the break how, my best friend has pandemic babies. One grew up in the pandemic. He was about 1 when, we started the pandemic. And then,
that's right. Yep.
Then she had her other son during the pandemic. And, that kid, EJ, he's the baby. He is a different breed. That boy, he been 17 since he popped out the womb. But it was it was just the growth from Elias just going from 1 year old and being like he doesn't want to talk to anybody to just moving into Tati. I was just telling you guys, look at my bronchiosaurus, and I'll say something else, and he's like, no, it's a bronchiosaurus. It's definitely like a carnivore or whatever. And then he'll be like, yeah, and this is my Tyrannosaurus Rex, and this one is such and such, and it eats this and that, and then this is why its neck is long. And then I was just telling you guys how my best friend actually helps him open up and talk about his feelings, and he can express what made him feel that way, why he felt that way. And I just, It's crazy.
Let me tell you, and you said he's about 4.
Or is it crazy though, Ben? Because when you go to other countries though, kids be about 1.5. Full conversations.
Doing calculus.
Doing calculus.
For the family.
Running equations. Maybe it's just America. Maybe it's just... Maybe it's just babies born in America, and we're surprised.
Y'all are foolish.
Because our black babies are no longer like those. We take care of our own kids now. We ain't leaving y'all. We ain't leaving our kids.
But them babies those babies out of the country. I swear for God. I swear to God. That's what I hate to say it. Those kids are like speaking
multiple languages,
and then multiple languages, full Creole, learning English at the same time, and French and Spanish at the age of 2. They know how to put their hands on their hips like this, and talk to you and some stuff.
Roll a little neck.
Yeah.
And they know how to go play outside at 2. Whose kid? That's a baby. That baby should not be playing in these mountains.
Don't you put your hands on your hip and talk to me.
They'll go across the street. The parents
I don't care how smart you is.
The parents be like, go get some sugar across by the neighbor's house, Kai voisin. And they will go and get like sugar and eggs and bring it right back to the house at 2.
I ain't sending my baby to wear 2. To get them
living for themselves, damn near cooking their own meals.
Hey, they so grown when they back out, they turn the radio down to make sure they can see. That's how grown
this is true.
Look,
I've seen Asian TikToks of TikToks of Asian babies cooking Asian food for the family. I'm like, see, what is going on? But is this? Is it because we grew up here in America? This is not normal to us, or like I don't know how to feel about that. Is this abuse?
I do think I think the babies. There's a video, and I haven't been able to find it, but I'm going to say it on air. Maybe somebody in the audience can help us find it. There's a video of a white woman, but she was talking about her baby who was like 4 or 5 or 6 rather, discussing how they were not from here, that they were from a whole nother. Now it kind of got a little ancient alien kind of creepy, but the way the lady explained it. How a child, wherever the child got this idea from, at 5 or 6 is able to explain that they are not from this planet. And I'm like, okay.
Get that kid out of my house right now. And we bind in the name of Jesus.
You're doing a lot of rebuking.
Loose me
I'm going to be the one that's don't sit right there with the child and say, okay, tell me more.
Tell me more.
What's the cheat code?
Outside.
That's why.
Can you call them for me? Can you call them?
The kid is outside.
Can you take me
if we're waiting on the kids for the aliens to come.
I am not from this place. You better get out. Loose me right now.
Come on, Rebecca. Do you want to come to the planet with us?
Get out of here.
All right. I do have a transition.
Before she get fussy. Here y'all go.
Okay.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh. Look at James' forehead.
I know, right? God damn it.
Hey, Mom, you matching with her today?
I mean, look at Jane. Dwayne got that what is that, fuchsia that you're wearing? What is that?
He got hot pink on the wrist.
Yeah, it's pink.
Hey.
It's pink. Hey, matching the baby.
Hey, lady. Oh.
All right.
She's going to grow up, and, man, you're going to have gray hairs by the time she turned 1.
Already got gray hairs,
love
but
that
she's going to be switching the show when she turned 2. It's going to be behind the scenes.
With the whole headset on.
She literally is so beautiful. And
she is.
See, look, I just can't wait for the day.
That's why you're
look, Rebecca. Rebecca, look. Yeah? So we can collaborate, Rebecca. We both stay in Atlanta, girl. As long as you have a boy, then I'm cool.
I want a girl. I want a girl.
Damn. Wait. James said there's a potential for cross-pollination between the two of you on
like
the show.
My eggs. Look, and I want to get knocked up.
Probably.
I was going to do the turkey-based method.
I'm done. Moving on. Let's talk about Jay-Z. What Jay-Z is working on. It's a hard transition. I could transition through Lil Wayne. And his lyric about being an alien, but I'm not even going to work that hard. Let's transition to this story about the rappers. Rappers getting held more accountable for their lyrics than white folks for overthrowing the government. Now I have two different feelings about this next story. David, I know you prepped us, and we did a production meeting last night. But what media do we have here? I want to put something on the screen so we can have this discussion, because part of me,
we have.
Go ahead.
So we have some B-roll that has quotes and information, but we have a clip that summarizes it briefly too.
Let's run the clip. I want us to take a listen to, and I have two different feelings about this, but it is something that Black rappers in the United States of America are being held more accountable for their rap lyrics than those white boys who marched up the step on January 6th. Let's take a listen in.
Jay-Z, one of several artists teaming up to block rap lyrics from being used in court. New York lawmakers introduced the Rap Music on Trial bill back in November. This would end the use of rap lyrics as evidence in criminal cases, except in cases with clear and convincing proof of a link between the lyrics and a crime. Artists say that current law violates a First Amendment right to freedom of artistic expression.
Now check this out real quick. We've got some B-roll that's coming up on the screen. Jay-Z and others wanting rap lyrics to stop being used as criminal evidence. I want y'all to think about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial and all of the things that the judge adamantly refused to be allowed to be entered into evidence, right? That was one of the most stark, disgusting things that we've seen. We saw that judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial step in almost like his personal attorney and make sure that all that damning evidence that they had never got in. All the stuff that showed the character of Kyle Rittenhouse never got in. The matter of fact, the video that I released and we found of him fighting a girl with closed fists, that was not permitted in the trial. Kyle Rittenhouse punching a woman, a child, with closed fists was not entered into the trial. Now, juxtapose that next to rappers whom whatever crime they're charged with, I don't think, and I hope this is the part that this is where I defer a little bit. If you're out there rapping about your crimes, then you need to go to jail. But outside of that, I mean, rappers are being held more accountable than murderers in this country.
First of all, Kelly Rowland is not a rapper. She was in the B-roll though, fly as hell.
She's one of the celebrity supporters.
She's one of the celebrities standing with Jay-Z on this particular issue.
Good.
Yeah.
So I will say that I don't. I don't think, now just juxtaposing it with the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, big deal. You know what I'm saying? Because it does not make any sense how that man is out here walking down these streets for free, blood on his hand, blood on his shoulders, blood on his leg, he's drenched in the people's blood, and still out here walking for free. Now, rap music can sometimes be motivational for people to go do what they do. Now, I ain't gonna lie about that. That's my opinion. Fight me on it. But when it comes to this, for it to be presented in court as proof of what somebody did, when there is people walking around here we have them on video, we have them on, there's evidence against them, and it just clearly goes to show who is, who are the people who do rap music the most. Who?
White folks.
White folks.
No, black people rap the most. That's why
I thought you said who love it the most. Who buy it?
Who do it the most? Who do this form of artistry the most? It is black people. That's why they will criminalize this in 2.4 seconds. This is their way of doing it. Now, if it was some country music where they talk about being depressed all day and pulling up on that girl house,
and drinking and smoking, shooting guns,
they will hold that accountable. Put that in the court of law. But they won't do that to those type of music. I remember there was this song. That was about what is it? Hey, you done with the sun punch? You better run, out on my bullet. That song is about a kid going to school after being bullied and shooting up the school.
Really?
Yes.
Really? I didn't know that. I've never heard that song, but wow.
So, you better outrun my gun or something. I think that's what the name of the song is. Now that song itself, I'm like, can we present that? Because that is Kyle Rittenhouse. That is those students that are shooting up schools every day who are white. Those songs are motivational for them. Those are criminal itself. Can we use that in the court of law? They won't use those little pop songs. They won't use those, but they're gonna go ahead and use
it's called
what you rapping?
Pumped Up Kicks.
What you rapping? Pumped Up Kicks. Go read the lyrics.
Pumped Up Kicks. Yeah. But y'all right, and it's one of those things where if you're gonna try to let's put it out there. If you're gonna try to accuse rappers or damn, I just can't forget all my damn words today. My brain's all over the place.
It's Friday, it's one of those. This is permission. It's permitted on Friday. It's expected.
Right. If you are one of those and y'all are trying to accuse rappers of doing this stuff, man, let's go after everybody. Go ahead and get the actors, actresses, and everything else because they putting it out there too. Y'all going after these rap lyrics because what's said, half the stuff that's in these lyrics, these people don't do. They just saying half of it for money and clout. Right. That's it. That's right. Now you got some of them like Bobby Shmurda who actually did some stuff that he actually rapped about.
Well, see, you know which rappers to mess with and which ones not to mess with, right? You do. You don't pull up on Bobby Shmurda and say he ain't talking about that. Like, nope. You just don't pull up on him. But some of these cats, they're not doing these things. They're just rapping about it, and now they're being held accountable.
Right. Absolutely. So it's just like I said, if you're trying to get them, go ahead and get the rest of these people because some of this stuff that you see like on TV nowadays, that's just on regular cable TV. I ain't talking about on HBO, Showtime, or Skinamax. I said Skinamax. I'm talking about like FX or Fox where they're getting away with saying more explicit cuss words and using more expletive language now versus what they were before. So when you're out here trying to censor these rappers, man, censor the back to TV like y'all were before. Let's come on. Let's be now. Let's be positive around the board. You know what I'm trying to say? Damn.
Well, what happened? Jay, I mean, bro. When I first heard this story, my initial reaction was the opposite of what we're talking about right now, right? Because I had to sit down and I had to think about it in context of what people get away with in this country, what white people get away with in this country, and how exactly, Rebecca, what you said, if we're going to hold people accountable to lyrics, then fine, let's do it across the board. But when I first heard this story, I thought of MF Doom, and I thought about rap snitches, and I thought about some of these people really do. You're out here, you're your own star witness, right? And so part of me is like, if you are out here and you putting out lyrics that are confessing your own crimes, there ain't nothing we could do for you, right? That's on you. But in general speaking, we're not dealing with a generation of rappers where they are all lined up, living out their lives in the rhyme, James. Like you said, it's a show. And they are being held accountable for a show more so than the reality of the people around us we see every single day. Rebecca, you back?
Right.
Where you at?
Right.
Right here.
Oh, I didn't see you there for a second. I thought we went to break and I didn't know. Anyway, we got a couple of other stories. We're looking at what's going on with Cardi B and in Brooklyn. Rebecca, we hadn't covered that story yet. And I went through our archives. I'm sure we covered it, but we did not cover the story out of Brooklyn where all those people, it was just the Bronx. Thank you for the correction. Tell us about it and we can discuss it because there's a reason. A lot of this is happening more than often. And now a lot of folks aren't paying attention.
So it's crazy because just a few weeks ago, there were 2 fires. I remember before the Bronx one, there was the story of the Philadelphia. And yesterday I was speaking with David, and I was like, there was a fire before that. Like there was a fire before that had people up in arms because children died. And it was an apartment fire too. And he was looking for it and couldn't find much. And then finally, I don't know that if the apartments there, were called row houses, but he finally found that one. And that was basically in Philadelphia just a few days before. And and so the Bronx fire, which was a space heater that caused a Bronx apartment fire that left 17 dead and 63 dead. Just literally less than a week before, the house fire in Philadelphia killed 13, including 7 children, and that was a Christmas tree that ignited. So both of these happened literally in less than a week, and that was 30 people in total that died in urban housing in Philadelphia. In New York. So I want to focus on that before we get to the Cardi B point of it.
That's right.
I want to focus on that because it's in urban housing, right? And we know, and I know because I lived in urban housing. And when we say urban housing, it's kind of like what welfare homes. It's kind of like, projects. It's kind of like those things. And we know that in those moments, or if you've ever lived in those areas, you know what it's like where stuff ain't working. Elevator's not working.
That's right.
You live on like the 10th floor. Nobody has come. You have made multiple complaints, to the city about it. There are unsanitary things all across areas. If somebody was shot there, blood will be there. And yeah, this is my own story. Blood will be there for weeks, months, just sitting there. Sometimes you have to go through the emergency door. And when you go through the emergency door, there's no alarm that goes off in the building. Very problematic. So none of these, what I'm saying is none of these are usually up to code. The city doesn't care sometimes, most times, in these underserved communities that are usually, when we say urban communities, we're talking about Black, or Latino communities in these cities. Philadelphia is a big city, and so is New York. It's just knowing that a space heater was an issue because the state didn't come and put any AC or heater in this area, knowing that it's cold in the Bronx.
That's right.
And they did not make sure that it was up to code, so they were providing space heaters, or the people themselves were getting space heaters that were probably not for those type of buildings. Those space heaters, once they flip over, they can cause a full fire. That's why they make them now where if it flips over, it turns off automatically. And in the other home, they were saying that in Philadelphia, it is alleged that it wasn't even up to code, where they didn't even have a fire extinguisher available.
Wow.
In the row house. Wow. So in these particular moments, in these times when we look at these stories, it's kind of like this is the bigger issue here.
Yeah.
They don't care about Black lives. They don't care about the living situations and how people are living, and if they're up to code and if they are safe in these communities, because they're the projects. They're just urban communities. They're just Black people that are going to make do with what they have. And that is very problematic. Now it goes to show us that we lost 30 people in less than a week in fires in these communities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm thinking about and it reminds me of the Grenfell Tower fire in London. And that was a few years ago, but it was a very similar situation. But in that case, more than, I think, 72 people died in that fire. And I want to give a shout out to, I can't think of Raven's last name, but I follow her on Twitter, our Haitian sister Raven, who posted a comparison of the faces of the victims in the Bronx and the faces of the victims in the Grenfell Tower over in the UK. And they were all Black. They were all majority migrant or immigrants rather. And it looked like a lot of them were either Muslim or, they were immigrants. They were family. They were people who are the most likely to be taken advantage of by a system that won't recognize all of the complaints about how cold that building was. But then after 8 people die, you have the new mayor, Eric Adams, comes out and goes on his tour, which that's what you do as a mayor. You go on the tour and you take summary of all the people who were killed and you make a speech. But what you could have done before this was to make sure that they had adequate heating such that they didn't need a space heater that turned around and killed so many people. Right. And that's the thing I hear you talking about, Rebecca, is that all of this really stems from the fact that nobody actually cares that they're freezing in these towers in the north.
It's
Black people.
I remember living here, and in Marietta, in the townhouse in Marietta, and it was a developing area. It was considered the hood. Franklin Road was what it used to be called before. Franklin Road. If you ever live in the Marietta, yes, the hood of all hoods there. Yeah. Very, very.
It's not that bad.
But I ain't had no money.
Well, no, for Marietta, comparatively speaking, yes.
But honestly, and it's not even like it's like. I would say it's not, an urban area. That's what they called it. People were always scared to move there. Yes, you would always see police pulling up to the liquor store, which is right next door. But I'm going to say this. When we moved into the house was supposed to be, it was a townhouse. The house was supposed to be upgraded. You know, and I needed a place to stay really quick. It wasn't upgraded. Who cared? I made an argument with the front, and I'm like, y'all, upgrade this as we go. One day I came home, you guys. I had a big hole in the middle of the kitchen floor. The bathroom sink was on top of the kitchen counters. Dust was everywhere. It could have been all kinds of things. You know what they say in them commercials? What them things be in the house? I forgot what it's called. But they're like, if you or if your family member has been exposed to
asbestos.
It could have been any. It could have been any of that. Now, mind you, me and my sister were like, we can't even go downstairs. We can't get to the kitchen. We can't get to the bathroom. We had to just keep going upstairs. We didn't know if we used the bathroom upstairs would have leaked down. We didn't know what was going on.
Jesus Christ.
Remember when it was like a snow day so bad, everybody's cars were just sliding. This was not the Snowmageddon. Mm-hmm. This was when we were stuck at the that place that we were working at, and they told us that we had to come in. And you lived 90 hours away. And the snow came down so bad.
I remember that weekend. Yeah.
We were so fearful. My tires were not built for that. If you think I had my tires changed at all in 5 years, you better not believe that.
Child, that was when you drove that little red car that would be skidding around everywhere.
Yes. And
you know what? They did call me. I just want to put a pin there. They called me because they knew I had moved just down from Boston, James, and the bosses were like, "Well, everybody's complaining and they're a little scared of the snow. Do you think we should let them go?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, I don't know what you expect me to say. Day off. Just get the hell out of here. But it was about that much snow, James. It was about that much snow.
No, it was not, Ben. I have a picture. It was not that much snow.
It was a lot of snow. It was a lot of snow.
Rebecca, was you one of them people stranded on the interstate when y'all got like a half an inch of snow down there?
No. But we're not gonna laugh about that because Georgia wasn't prepared for that. So, but that second time around. That second time around, I didn't want to be stuck. But I say all this to say it was freezing.
That's right.
Okay? Our unit, our AC unit, our heater was not working. It wasn't working at all. And they came and gave us a heater. And mind you, the whole house had like dust in it, everything. We get the heater and I plug it in. It blew up, like it sparked. It blew up.
The devil is a liar.
But we were so cold that we kept trying, and
this is in Georgia.
Sparking. Yeah, we kept trying and kept sparking. They were like, "Well, we can't have anybody come out to you. We don't have anybody on site." And I said, "But it just said you guys have a maintenance person on site here." They were like, "No, we don't." And and we shouldn't even be really utilizing your home because it's under construction. I said it wasn't under construction when we moved here, and y'all decided to do construction when we was at work. What are we talking about? So it was just an unlivable place. If it were to catch on fire and we were upstairs, we wouldn't even have access to going downstairs.
Wow.
Nothing. So we had to really kind of sleep with our backs up. It was so cold while just monitor the heater, but it was so cold that we had to utilize it.
Rebecca, I didn't know that's what you were going home to that day.
Yeah, it was, yes. And the way I was going home, I was sliding.
Yeah.
Because Jesus, you do.
It wasn't that much snow. It wasn't that much snow when we left. When we left, it was about that much snow. But shortly thereafter,
much snow for my tires, which were not.
Shortly thereafter, it was Boston level snow. So I'm glad we got out of there. I didn't know that you had that situation going home though.
And it's crazy because everybody's like, in Georgia, man, yes, this little tiny ass apartment that I'm in East Point, and I'm paying over $1,000 for. Oh man, only thing they did was put paint on this building and Band-Aids. That's it.
Well, hell, because y'all saw what happened. Shoot, go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
I'm about to say, if you look behind my cabinets now, there's a gap about that big going from that goes under the house, basically, under the apartment. I don't know what's in there. I just know I hear critters and everything else. And you try to call and talk to somebody, of course you don't get anybody. I'm waiting for pest control still to come out now because I got a freaking rodent running around my house.
My God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't like this shit.
They want.
I hate that. I hate this. I pay all this goddamn money, and I got to deal with critters, bruh, and that makes no sense to me.
I mean,
they make it so hard to even get. They make it so difficult to even get in there in the first place, and then you get in there, and you're like, "Holy shit! I'm paying this kind of money for this." And
it's supposed to be housing that you're able to pay, affordable housing, right? It's supposed to be affordable housing, where an affordable housing for some reason equates to houses that are not up to code.
That's
homes that are not up to code. We don't need to come out there and see if it's okay. That's what they equate that to, and that's problematic because when something happens to it, who gets in trouble? But now here we are, and lawsuits are being made, and I'm glad that we have people who are going back to where they from when things are happening, like Cardi B, and who's offering to pay for the fires and the victims' fire burial costs. But I love to hear that, and I know it's a lot of money. 17 people killed in the Bronx. 17 people killed in the Bronx fire, and when we don't want to hold the city and states accountable for not protecting their constituents, their people.
That's it.
I think that's when we come to a crossroads where we have to realize, okay, I don't want to be on the right side or the left side of stuff. We're right here in the now. I don't care what you represent, but it's about what you're doing right now to protect your people. I don't care where you stand on whatever. What are you doing? 17 children died. In your state.
Children included.
In a state funding building. They died. You guys decided never to go back there and check if it's up to code. You guys said it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They need a place to stay, so it doesn't matter.
And check this tidbit of information out. Bronx building owners, and I'm sure David can make sure this is find out information about this. Bronx building owners are Canberra Property Group, co-founded by Rick Groper, who's on the mayor's transition team for housing issues.
I can confirm that.
That specific building, yeah. The guy. So the company that owned the building, one of the people that owned the company or founded it or on the board is on the mayor's team or was during his campaign.
You see this?
That's right.
You see this? Y'all see how this all links together? So it needs to be some repercussions for this punk ass mayor as well too, because he's a punk ass mayor. It's gonna keep it real.
Yeah. No love for the mayor of New York. He has decided to make himself the villain. The mayor of New York has decided to make himself the villain of black people in this timeline. So in the after party, I'll tell you where you can go, what you can go do to yourself. Because this is the insult, Rebecca, is after these people were dead, this became one of the most shining moments in Eric Adams' short career so far as mayor of New York, because he got to come down there and show all the sympathy. He got to go down there and act like he was heartbroken. He got to go down there and make all the press releases and statements. But at the end of the day, his people, the people on his campaign that made donations to him, they the ones that own that building where 17 people just died. Anyway, guess that's that.
Hey,
right?
Rebecca.
Rebecca, you did it. I was so proud of you yesterday. I know that's crazy. I know it's weird, but like, I love seeing you go out there and snatching people's wigs, man. Like, I know that's kind of not what happened yesterday, but I just feel.
Yeah, I watched the clip. Oh yeah.
Do we have the clip by any chance?
I can get it.
Yeah.
So thank you. And I wanted to point that out, and I wanted for people to understand, because I want people to understand when you go somewhere and you sit in the room, you know what I'm saying, like with everybody, it's not really about code switching, but it's telling you I can read you here. Like I can read you correctly here.
Right.
You're only giving me 2 minutes of time. I can definitely read you right here in this particular moment. So, but I'm gonna do it the way that you guys are asking for, because I felt like these simple questions require a little bit more in-depth answers, and you guys are just skating across things. We can unpack this situation more than just in yesterday's conversation. You just played a clip. If once we get the clip, we could talk about Title 42, which I did want to hit on. But we can't just go into conversations and think that we can just baseline it right here with two simple questions and just say, I think it's bad. No, it is bad because I know we don't want to go in because the president is Joe Biden. I don't give a damn who the president is. Well, like we just discussed right now, we're holding Eric Adams accountable. I don't care if you black. I don't care if you Hispanic. Right. I don't care what it is. Your constituents, your people in your state, in your city, they need you right now. It doesn't matter. Something happened right now. What are you doing about it? How are you assisting? How are you holding
right.
the people that, the government accountable for how they run these buildings? How are you holding those landlords accountable for how they run these buildings? How? These companies accountable for how they run. This is what we need to hear, because this is a moment that is happening now. So I don't care who you are, president, not president, black, white, purple, yellow, Kamala telling old girl on that show, Savannah, period. It doesn't, I don't care if you're using lingo. We got to hold you accountable.
God, you know what? I'm so, I am leaving politics, and Rebecca, because Rebecca, you got that under control, right? Like, what we need, I'm going to be honest with you. They don't need me out there saying it. They need you out there saying it exactly the hell way you just said it. Because one thing I noticed is, no, Jeremiah, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say that off air. I will say that in the patron party, because I know for a fact the advantage, there's only one advantage that black women get in this society. One advantage is the fact that y'all gonna mistakenly take them for granted and not expect them to be as brilliant as they are. Y'all gonna be blindsided by the black women that are coming to the political conversation because they never had time to play the fan or beat the bush around with us. They gonna say what's on their mind, and they gonna do it with a little bit of style. Rebecca, I'm glad to be on your team.
I'm happy that you guys, you guys are on my team, and let's just play the clip, and this is just the clip, and I want to say, and because I want to juxtapose that to our show as well, but let's just play that clip. To ask the Biden administration what's going on, because we have to understand, when he was campaigning, he being Biden, he campaigned a lot on these immigration policies that he said he would roll back that were Trump immigration policies, including, the Title 42, right, that Trump put in place. And here is the thing, though. All of these promises that were made to the immigrants, we see that here in this Title 42 and under the guise of it being a public health situation, we know that there's nothing different between what Biden is doing now and what Trump did on the onset of the pandemic. And here's the thing. I know a lot of people are afraid to hold Joe Biden accountable and call a thing, but we need to call a thing. And whether you voted for him or not, the same way that we held Donald Trump accountable and how he treated immigrants, we need to do the same thing here with what Joe Biden is doing. And it's funny that they want to say this is a public health situation. We got to make sure that we don't bring in more COVID-19 here in the U.S., from immigrants, coming over at the Mexico border. But we have the largest cases being reported out of the U.S., period, anyhow. And with these immigrants going into into ICE custody, even the conditions there are bringing them, COVID-19, these immigrants. So there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, I mean, we have some of those past promises right here. In tweets, Biden pledged to restore dignity.
I have a couple of those promises there.
These white men faces like...
Hey, who this chick? Who that black girl?
I'm going to say this, though.
Shout out to Ryan Graham. That's my boy. I love Ryan.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, shout out to all of them there. Yeah, for real.
They were sweethearts. My last name is Azor, but they were beautiful. They were sweethearts.
He did. I called it too.
and he asked me how to pronounce it right before too. I had to get. You see how they got ghetto dig 2 seconds, but
ghetto dig 2 seconds.
Ghetto dig. But because I couldn't get it. You see, my black ass couldn't get it. But honestly, though, I think that in this look, because I'm doing the same thing as I'm doing on the show, I think that in those particular moments, you will see me, breaking it down to how, sometimes people, you got to verbalize it how they can understand it. I'm going to give it to you how you can get it, how you can understand it. But just understand the messaging is going to be the same. We have to look at the underlying issues here, and we have to start. And I don't know why people were saying hold people accountable when it was a Trump era, right? We were holding. Title 42 was the first thing on people's minds. Title 42 was the main thing on people's minds. Title 42 being, to me, an anti-immigrant law here, and that Donald Trump put in order. To just say that, okay, COVID-19 can be brought here to America by immigrants, so we need to keep, illegally, right? This is not even lawful. A federal judge considered this unlawful, Title 42 unlawful back in September, okay? And what our current president did, first he wanted to keep it. And when that judge in Washington considered it unlawful, Title 42, what he did was, he, being Joe Biden, he went and said, I'm going to appeal it. When was that appeal? On Wednesday. When did he have his press conference? On Wednesday night. Did he speak about that appeal to anybody? Did he mention Title 42? Did all those people that follow him, did all people that follow him over to the cliff, did they mention Title 42? When Donald Trump did Title 42, and I was right there along with them, I made sure, hey, this is racist. This is anti-immigrant. This is not even lawful. Make sure Donald Trump removes Title 42. Make sure we hold the next leader accountable, and so that Title 42 is not something that is how we say this, taking away the rights of asylum seekers. They have rights too. And
that's right.
Somebody said to me online, this is what they said to me, this is what they said. They said to me, I don't understand how it makes it unlawful for people who are undocumented to get to the border and come into a country that doesn't belong to them. I said, well, we can roll it back historically, you know what I'm saying? We could do that. Well, this country don't even belong to the people that say it belongs to them. It was an unlawful
That's right.
hijack of a country.
That's right.
So we can take it back historically. So, y'all sitting here telling us that, I don't know how it makes it unlawful for people who are not even from here to be at a border. Excuse me. We can take it historical. Are you supposed to be here? Is your family from here? And then for the same people, because I saw that Mitch McConnell clip as well, for those people who are calling Black Americans not Americans, African Americans not Americans, because he made a statement saying that the African Americans votes are just as high in percentage as American votes, because they like to show the divide, the divisiveness and things like that. And Ben, you say it all the time on the show, Black Americans can trace their generations, their families' generations back many more times. That's right. A white person here in America. Right. But I digress. That Title 42 is anti-immigrant, and Joe Biden must be held accountable. I don't care what you look like. I remember back in the day, I used to care. I used to like, that person is Black and we have to stick right beside them. Yeah, we can stick right beside them and hold them accountable. If he's going to be sitting in this seat for 3 more years, if you think I'm going to be like, okay, my cousin who was under that Texas border disappeared in the night. Nobody knew where he went because of Title 42.
That's it. I've never seen the government move as efficiently as they did to remove the Haitian immigrants from the Texas border using Title 42 underneath the Biden administration. I've never seen the government be that efficient.
Claiming that we don't have any resources to really hold them and put them in places. And all of a sudden, though, y'all went in the night. Thousands of Haitians were taken to facilities, and their rights were taken away from them. They moved swiftly to process paperwork. Now, they moved slow processing the asylum paperwork, but they moved so swiftly to process deportation paperwork within less than 24 hours.
Shh. Y'all got a problem on y'all hand, and that problem is Rebecca Azor. I ain't got nothing else to say to that story, bro. We're going to stay on top of it, though, I tell you that much. Well, shoot, Rebecca Azor going to stay on top of it. Damn it. One last story before we go to the after party. It's Friday, and we got the patron party tonight. Patreon.com/like.
Oh, wait, I got to add one more thing.
And Rebecca going to be there, huh? That's what Andy going to be there?
Oh, no, I actually have a wedding to go to. But I have to add one more thing.
Go for it.
Coming from that show, I'm like, whew, girl, let me just unclip the wig. Let me get on Like It or Not. Hey, y'all, listen, no. It was a breath of fresh air. But understanding, though, that we have this platform where we can talk that same shit over there. We can talk it. Sorry, Act TV. We can talk what we got to talk. But for them, it's like, we got to talk like this. No offense to y'all, because y'all said y'all going to call me back.
Well, I was researching the other day the situation
y'all wanted me for a particular reason, because it needs a little bit of pepper in there. But coming back over here and knowing that we have Black people who are not a monolith, we can talk our talk from different walks of life, educated as hell, still have my nails on, because people in the comment section in that community are like, oh God, like her nails are very distracting. Okay, because their haircuts were distracting.
White supremacy is more distracting.
You see what I'm saying? Their haircuts, the way they were talking were distracting, but at the same
ugly
time,
white face is distracting.
Oh God. But no, but at the same time,
you escalated. You took that to like 1,000.
Over there looking like Skeletor. Oh, you ain't got no lips, no nose, no mouth, no nothing. Damn, what the hell? It's distracting. I'm sorry.
See what you do? See what you do when you talk about a black woman's nails? We coming for you. Go ahead.
No, it was the people. It was the people in the comment section. Because if you go in the comment section, they're like whatever. But there were like a lot of black women said, "I love to see myself in this space." Wow. And that's what meant everything to me. And I was like, come on over to Like It or Not. Right over here. You see yourself every single day. From the top of the morning on the clock to the last show of the day. We are not a monolith over here. We are black people. And we have so much greatness over here. Our backgrounds, how we're telling the story of stories that must be told. Not just in a way where they're just telling us, go with this. And I've worked, and that's what I was saying to Dr. Mack the other day. We've worked for people who try to tell us how to be and who to be, and
how much black was okay,
and how much black it was okay to do, and that's when I felt like, okay, I made I got 1 million views the other day with doing about this much black, so maybe I should just do about this much black again to get another 1 million views, and I realized that's not what it's about for me. It's really not. We got to start doing the work and being authentic and pure in the work we do.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
You did plug Like It or Not while you was over there, right? In the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. I ain't get a chance to watch the full clip yet. I got to go back and watch the full thing.
They only put. That's how. We'll talk about that in the after show.
Rebecca, okay, I saw it. Okay, that's what I
saw that.
Because they're a good show. They're a good show. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm gonna say this. Ryan Grimm was a good one. I like Ryan.
You guys are so territorial.
No, listen. I'm not. I want to be sure because I have no problem saying it, and I want to get to the story about Prince before we run out of time here. Listen, I know all these media organizations. I remember when the Hill TV was started. I remember the first owners, and I'm aware of their new ownership. And so, yeah, I'm going to talk trash about them. That's just about me. But I think I think that was a great segment, and I'm glad that they invited you over, because the world needs to see more of Rebecca Zor.
Yeah, and I also think that the world needs to understand that these are great platforms, and there's room for every single show on here. And whatever you're looking for, whatever audience that you want, you can find it. If it's just not, sometimes it may not be Rising, which is a great show, which is a great platform. Sometimes it may not be Rising. Sometimes it may just be Benjamin Dixon's 8:30 segment. Sometimes, you have that out there. There are communities who are going to follow the show you guys follow. So, if you're in our comment section on this particular show saying that it's okay, you're saying that you're interpreting what we're doing as us being racist against white people. Definitely not. When you live as a black person in America, let me tell you something. What we're saying right now is just really just a little sprinkle of what we would probably really want to say about white people in America. And it doesn't make us racist. It's just us, critical race theory.
Hello. Hello. Hey. Hello.
I don't even read the comment section anymore. I read the comment section when I know who's there. Did y'all hear the foghorn that they gave Kyle Rittenhouse when he came out? They actually put
it was something
I kind of want to not use it ever again
because of that.
No, but it wasn't even giving the black one though. It wasn't giving HBCU.
Rebecca, didn't it sound like a white air horn?
It was giving. It was in the nose. We're more so. We throw babies. This was more so in the nose.
Wait, James, play your foghorn, James, so we can. Because there's a black foghorn, and then there was a mess they just got to do.
Wait, now, Dwayne, play that one again, real quick.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
For Kyle Rittenhouse.
Okay, and how it's supposed to sound.
There's peppers in there. There's spice in there. There is jerk sauce in there. There is barbecue sauce.
There's some Lowry's. There's some Lowry's in there.
There's some Lowry's.
Yeah.
Tony Satch.
Some Old Bay.
Old Bay, baby.
You can remix that one with some Haitian music and wind your waist to it. I can assure you that. That one is on beat. That is an always on beat horn. Something is different about it. They can definitely, if they gentrifying horns.
It might have actually been the same one, but when I heard James, it's black as hell, man. Yours been on the grill. Yours been on a grill and flip flops.
Yeah, it got some seasoning on it.
The sandals and socks, or the sandals that look like baby sandals when you get the
sandals with the cargo shorts, bro. Yeah. They got the cargo shorts on and a polo. That's how black your foghorn just
the brown sandals with all the straps.
Oh man, with a little kavasi on the side and a mustard-based barbecue sauce.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, one last story before we go private. The artist,
y'all so black.
The artist at one point who was formerly known as Prince, the legendary, the great Prince, who we lost years ago. His estate has finally been settled. There was confusion about the wealth, the total worth of his estate, and because he did not have a will. The estate was settled, I believe, yesterday, and it gets $156 million final valuation, saying his music catalog is worth $150 some odd million. I feel, James, in a world of billionaires, I kind of feel like Prince should be worth more than that. But then when I looked at a whole lot of artists, a lot of artists would be lucky to get that kind of money valuation.
I agree.
Yeah, and actually, it was valued less than that. It was at 82.3 million, but they valued it again and increased it to 156.4. And they're speculating the reason why is because the IRS can get more taxes from that.
God dang, you black folks can't do nothing in this country without there being some kind of catch.
And they fought for that, though. They did. His estate fought for that because when they didn't accept that first value, and they fought for this one. But Ben, when I first saw the numbers of Prince, how they wanted to value this beautiful icon of a man, who they will in the future utilize him for NFTs and stuff like that. They're gonna do all of that.
They're gonna make their money.
They're gonna try to own his likeliness, and make it the most American thing, right? This belongs to American history,
right?
And that's my problem when we think about white artists, if we think about Elvis and stuff. I'm pretty sure his estate is worth like God knows what. But for us black folks and black Americans, we had this particular artist. But think about the other major artists.
That's right.
Who were black in the past and what their estates are valued at now. I'm pretty sure they were shortchanged as well.
Aretha Franklin.
And I'm about to say
I have some names in the spreadsheet.
Yeah, Aretha Franklin was 80 million. Stevie Wonder, his net worth is 200 million. Okay. And once you get up to the other people, let's listen to these numbers. Elton John, net worth as of 2018, 450 million. I can see that for Elton John, of course. Bruce Springsteen, 650 million.
Wow.
Billy Joel, 225 million. And we're talking about people that have, if not the equal amount of power as Prince did, that making more money, of course.
What about Whitney Houston? What about Whitney Houston?
Let's see.
Because
I don't understand how Aretha Franklin's $80 million. I don't understand why she didn't will either, but I don't. But $80 million for a legend like Aretha Franklin. I mean, not taking away the legendariness from that's a word.
They don't want
Prince, but when I saw that,
I'm shocked. And don't get me wrong, folks. Like, I would love to be worth $80 million, but I'm not. Also, don't sing legends.
Don't tell me.
Like Aretha Franklin, like Aretha stuff's still on the radio. They just came out with a movie about Aretha.
So I think Aretha is probably a lot lower because if you look at those other names that you were talking about, like Elton John and Bruce Springsteen, Billy Joel,
they own
a lot of their own masters. They own a lot of their stuff. Aretha didn't own a lot of her stuff when she passed away.
And there it is. And
and I'm gonna tell y'all, Whitney Houston,
I think is special. She had some issues.
Go ahead, James. You were saying about Whitney.
Whitney Houston's net worth at the time of her death, negative 20 million. Negative.
So I'm going to read this right here. It says, the debt was despite the fact that in her lifetime, Houston sold more than 100 million albums, right? After she passed, sales of her albums and songs spiked exponentially. And today, and this was back in August, Whitney Houston's estate is worth more than 14 million. And this is according to Billboard. Here's the thing.
Ain't that some shit?
But what you just said, though, and I bet you she probably doesn't own her masters as well,
Yeah,
if
for
I'm
sure.
not mistaken. So in those moments, these are the reasons why a lot of their values or what America says they value them at is so low, because they've already taken from them. They've used their talents, they've used their voices, they've used them for everything. The whole world loves them down. White, black, and black people alike. Everybody loves these particular artists and black artists and things like that. But when they die, they are saying that you, even in your death, you in America, after selling your soul, your blood, sweat, and tears for the country, your value is always going to be. It's like, you're black. Let's make sure that we value you right there.
So Ashanti did a Breakfast Club interview, like I think I want to say within the last few months, and she was asked about when she finally got her masters. Yeah. And I think there was like, I could be retelling this incorrectly, but I believe that she like had issues with getting hers, and so she ended up re-recording her first album or her first big hit album because of that, so that she could have masters over it.
That's right.
But she did say that in general, there's after a certain number of years, I don't remember if it's like 20 years or something like that, that's when artists legally have the opportunity to
it's 25 years after
ownership
their death
of their masters.
No,
you're talking about the ownership of their masters.
Irv Gotti, who was her producer or the owner of the label that she was under, he
Murder
even
Inc.
took Murder Inc. It's murder, but he took to social media saying that you guys need to understand this. You know, she worked under my label. Y'all taking money from me. When you guys are saying that, you know, she should require back her masters and she's fighting for it. Well, think about me and the fight that, you know, I'm having to do because I'm the one that discovered her. I'm the one that did studio. Like, he was
my God. The motherfuckers say they made whole. Okay. Turn around and make another Ashanti then. Irv, you made her. Go make another one.
Right, that's his role.
That ain't gonna happen.
He made money off of the touring and off of anything related to the label. That doesn't mean that the label owner should be entitled to the actual peer. That's BS.
See, because at the end of the day, listen, this is the reason I do the stuff the way I do it is because I know one thing is true. At the end of the day, it's the combination of everybody that creates something that you can go out there and sell, right? It did take Irv Gotti. It did take the producers. It did take Ashanti. It took the whole team, right? But who's the only person in that equation who's sitting back saying, it's mine? Irv Gotti. Sorry, bro. You can't create. You're not going to have another hit. You're not, because you have now told all the talent in the world that at the end of the day, no matter how much we collaborated, it's yours. Nah. We couldn't do nothing grows like that. Nothing.
No, and this is for even our aunties, like Auntie Anita Baker. She had to tell people not to purchase her music stop streaming her music until she is the owner of her masters. And you know what? She probably had to wait that 20 plus years to say, this is my time to grab my music and be the owner of my music and make sure that when I pass, that what the America is going to value me at will not just be that. I will have my records and my belongings. They will be worth more than nobody's business, and we can add that to the value of my music, my blood and sweat and tears. And she's an older woman now, but her music, we know that's vintage, that's historic, that is. She's a mogul, a living mogul today. She's a legend. And she should not have to live in America where once she passes, they're going to value her at whatever they think she is because she's black. But utilized her, dried her up, made her drench and dry. NDRE talked about this music industry. The same way, it depleted her. She loves it, though. She loves it because this is what made her. This is her thing. This is her gift. Right. But how it has depleted her in so many moments where they've taken money from her. They've taken from her all kinds of things. And she had to get independent in Haven Street Studios and work on her own music in an independent manner and then connect with major labels but make sure that she has sole authority over her own. When you finally realize that, sometimes it's like you're just later on in life and you wish you knew these things. JoJo, but the white singer JoJo, Black in Her Heart. the white soul singer, he had to redo her whole album as well.
That's right.
And because they would not allow her to own her music, she had to go on a separate label and do her own thing. And see, a lot of them are now getting privy to this thing because we will not allow. We being black folks, but you never should. Like, I think now we're becoming privy to it. We can't allow them to give us and say, I'm going to give you the world and give us, and we're living a way that we never thought we would live, on money and things like that. But they're still shortchanging you because you're black. So they value you at that because you're black.
Can you imagine how many hits? Honestly, as big of a fan of Motown as I am, I can't leave Motown out of this conversation. But how many more hits Murder Inc. could have gotten out of Ashanti had they not tried to treat her just like she was just to help, right? Like, I don't know if Ashanti herself had more hits in her, but I'm just saying the surefire way to make sure a career ends is when you treat the talented people like they're nothing more than the hired help. And while you're making all that money, it's just, and I want to give her a double shout out because she reminded me of something I read, when I was 17, when I was trying to do the music industry, and I read the music industry Bible, right? The whole book, cover to cover. She can, in fact, all artists have the legal right to re-record all of their songs. And there's nothing a record label can do about it. They simply just have to pay the people who wrote the songs their percentage. That says to me, if these labels keep playing around, y'all going to get a whole new line of music that are redone, all the hits that we love. Because if y'all not going to give the people who created it the rights to it, then they need to read that same book I read, the same book it sound like Ashanti and her team read, and y'all go remake all of your music and play it on the independent market. Then you're going to be okay, because you got to seize control of your life. Otherwise, Rebecca, it's the same exact thing that we went through. It's the same thing where they will use you. They will love your blackness. They will love your talent. And then they will keep everything and fire you. And then you just out on your own, despite all of the work that you did to create that.
Because you fought for, you came in and you fought for something better. You said, okay, hold on now. I realized that I was actually being paid lower. Is there a reason why? Hey, I realized that you didn't want me to be as black as you hired me to be. Is there a reason why now?
You guys are a little too BET. Rebecca, you're a little too BET.
BET is hell. That's all right, because I will be black entertainment. I will be, and that's okay. But when you hired me on, you told me, wow, you're well-spoken, which means we know what that means. You're well-spoken.
But what did you expect?
You got 3 degrees. But you wear your hair big and your nails nice. I really like that. And you speak another language. Wow, that's so cool. We could use that. We could use that on our show. And you're a graduate of an HBCU. This was in my interview. And they wanted me to go there. They wanted me to sit and be that. And I'm like, I'm naturally that, though. I don't have to act. But now you're telling me how much I can be of this and how much I can be of that. And that's what was driving me crazy. I don't want to be limited because I'm all of those things.
That's right.
But I don't want you guys to own my likeliness either. And it was crazy, Ben, because what happened when we left? After we had millions and millions of views, we had over God knows how many millions of views on all of our content. We were bringing them in so many views, it was ridiculous. But as soon as we left, what'd they do? They took them all down, so we can't find them. They deleted everything. Why is Ben froze like that? Why he looking like...
You seen that meme when somebody showing the phone and he looking at something like in disgust, like
they sure did just use our likeness and took everything down.
Rebecca, look.
I don't even know what happened. Where we here? Are we back? I hear y'all.
Ben, do you see how you're frozen right now?
You sound like a robot.
I guess this is the best places to need to take a break, and let's bring it back with the after party. We only got 20 minutes for y'all in the after party.
Yeah.
Let's take it to the after party.
Say we might as well keep it, what you think? You might as well keep it live instead of just going on over.
Well, now we're having like screen issues, so there you go.
Okay, cool.
We'll be back right after this.
Right.
Ben, I still see your hand on your hip, or is that the same?
Oh, okay. And now I gotta get a song, y'all. Wait a minute. Right. is stressed about. All right, y'all. We love y'all. We mean it. We will see y'all tonight at the patron party. Okay, so we're not ending with. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we're staying live or we going. Are we ending the public stream? Okay, we got the public. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. Make sure that y'all stay tuned. We love y'all. Mean it. Make sure that y'all have y'all ass at the patron party tonight. It is going down. Fun at all. It'll be fun as hell. All right, y'all. Yeah. There's a positive light, which illuminates all the reasons I have to be grateful. Hey, man, and now I'm having issues. What is going on? All right, again, your affirmation. I choose to look at my life in a positive light, which illuminates all the reasons I have to be grateful. Y'all gonna be great, man. We love y'all. Mean it. If we don't see you at the after party in a few minutes, we're gonna see y'all at the patron party tonight. Love y'all. Mean